What is the tax-free savings account and how does it work? That's what we're going to be answering in today's video. Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? Robin here once again, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about the tax-free savings account. Now in this specific video I'm going to be focusing on the TFSA, which is the Canadian tax-free savings account. However, no matter where you are in the world, I strongly recommend that you look around because a lot of countries do have their own version of the tax-free savings account, and they do work in the same similar way, and the principles are the same. But just remember to look it up and research depending on where you're in the world, because your tax-free savings account might work differently than the ones we have here. So first of all, what is a tax-free savings account? Now you might think that is a tax-free savings account, and that's essentially what it is, but there's a lot of things that people don't understand about the tax-free savings account, and there's a lot of misunderstanding because it is kind of confusing when we have an account called the tax-free savings account, but you're allowed to put things like investments and equities into it as well. So a lot of people think that you can just use a tax-free savings account for saving money like at a bank, but this is actually one of the worst ways to actually use your tax-free savings account. You want to put your highest growth portfolio inside your tax-free savings account so that over time that can grow and you can make the most money. Now let's look at a little graph here that shows the contribution room for the TFSA in Canada. Alright everybody, so I managed to pull up the contribution room for the tax-free savings account per year. I found this nice little graph on wealthsimple.com. They coming through once again, and this shows you every single year the contribution room that the government added for the tax-free savings account. So basically what this is saying is starting in 2009 you could put $5,000 in your account. 2010 you could put $5,000, and so on and so forth. You can see that it's mostly been about $5,000, but you do see that they've kind of risen it over the years. And then in 2015, for whatever reason, they decided to put 10 grand, which is awesome. Remember, the more money the better, right? This is how much money you can put into your account. And you can see, I guess they're kind of raising it with maybe like inflation and stuff like that. So we've kind of risen up from 5,000 back in 2009 to 20 years later, about an extra $1,000 per year, which isn't much, but hey, you know, it adds up in the end. So the cool thing about the contribution room is it rolls over every single year. So for example, let's say in 2009, you didn't put any money into your account. In 2010, you could put 5,000 plus 5,000. If you didn't put any money in your account in 2009, and then it goes to 2015, you can put all these contribution rooms added up, as long as you don't go over the contribution room. And the one rule to that is that you have to be 18 whenever the year starts. So for example, I turned 18 in 2019. This worked out perfect for me. I turned 18 in 2009, sorry, not 2019. So in 2009, since I turned 18, going onwards would be my contribution room. So I get max contribution room, I think, which is about $69,000 I can put into a tax-free savings account, which it does sound like a little bit of money. It doesn't sound like tons of money, but you got to remember, over time as your account grows, that can easily get to over 100K. And then you have like 100K in a tax-free savings account that's earning you, you know, if you have it in equity, 5 to 10% per year, which can start to add up over time. Like and remember, it's all tax-free. So let's say 10 years of investing, you withdraw from that account, you can withdraw like 100 to 200,000, depends on what you get it to, kind of thing. The longer the better, completely tax-free, and you don't have to report this income on your income tax as well. So that's pretty cool. You actually get to keep your money, which is what you deserve. So let's say, so the way to figure out your contribution room is to figure out when you turned 18 years old. So if you turned 18 in 2015, your contribution room would start here at 10,000, and then every single year you can add that on. So if you turned 18 in 15, you'd start at $10,000, and then you could put 5,000, and so I guess your max would be 15, 25, 30, and then I'm not good with math here, but you can kind of see how it works. So if you turned 18 in 2019, you'd have a $12,000 contribution room. And basically in the end, everybody ends up at the same contribution room. It just goes by age, right? So the older you are, the more contribution room you get, sort of thing. In fact, younger people actually get more contribution room, right? But it benefits you to have this money in an account making money ASAP. So best case scenario, you want to max out your tax. This is best case scenario, right? Best case scenario is you want to max your tax-free savings account out today, right now, in the highest growth portfolio that you can get. Okay, and that's usually like some form of equities or something like that, right? Because you're holding it for the long term, and this money is going to make you money for the long term. Like you can make a lot of money in a tax-free savings account in the course of 10 to 20 years, especially if you max it out today. So that's the best case scenario. Second best case scenario would be to make an account right now, start building equity in it, and put as much as you can. You know, I mean, within reason, right? Like, even if it's just like $100 a month or $500 a month, put that money into that tax-free savings account and start growing it. It's the best thing you can do to make money. And to give you guys an example of that, I'm actually going to log into my Wealthsimple account right now. And you can see in my Wealthsimple account that I actually built up almost $1,800. This is 1 year's worth of investing inside a tax-free savings account. So I started in 2019. I did have some money sitting in a bank account in a tax-free savings account. It was giving me about 1% return. It was sitting in a CIBC account. It was giving me 1% return. I was making nothing per month kind of thing. And now I put my money into a robo-advisor, which is called Wealthsimple. Now I've done a few videos on Wealthsimple. You guys can check them out. I'll link to a couple videos in the description if you guys want to check that out. I'm also doing a weekly dividend investing portfolio where I'm putting every week I put $100 into a tax-free savings account until I hit my contribution limit. So you guys can check that out as well. I'll link to it as well. But stay on point here. I was in this account. I'm hitting an 8.8% return. So that's 8 times what I would have had in my traditional savings account for a tax-free savings account. So as you can see, if you're not putting your tax-free savings account in investments, this is my tax-free savings account right here, you're losing out a lot of money. You're losing out so much because like 8 times, almost 9 times, sorry, is a lot of money, especially when it starts to add up, right? As you guys can see here. So take that money, put it into a tax-free savings account, put it in equity. Grab a robo-advisor is probably the easiest way to do this. I use Wealthsimple. You guys can use whatever you want, and start building out that tax-free savings account. Because all this money I made this year, this $1,800, I could take it out today if I wanted to, and I wouldn't have to report a single dollar on my tax return and pay taxes. So that's the benefit of a tax-free savings account. And keep in mind, anything you take out, you can put back in the following year. So if I take this money out, it's January 9th right now. Let's say I take this $1,800 out right now, I can put that money back in next year. So just kind of keep that in mind. It's a little bit confusing on how that works, but I hope I explained that correctly. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, just feel free to let me know in the comment section. I'll do my best to help you guys out. But to really hammer this point in about why I think you should put your equity in a tax-free savings account, I pulled up this chart on highintrestsavingsaccount.ca, and this probably represents most bank accounts. You'll see online, and here's the good news. Banks are starting to raise their interest rates because they see that people are, there's more competition and stuff like that, especially with online banks. So you can see that they've actually raised their tax-free savings accounts over the years. I said I was getting a 1% interest rate. You'll see that there actually are accounts that give you a 2.3%, usually around early 2%, right? There's some 2.5 ones, but I mean, you guys can put your money into these if you want, but again, I highly, highly recommend that you look into a equity, because if you can hit like a 5 to 10% return each year, that tax-free savings account, especially once you get into high numbers, like think about this. Like if you're hitting if you get that account up to 100K, which is not hard to do after a couple years, right? And let's say, I'm just gonna bring up my calculator here really quickly. Let's say you're hitting a 5 to 10% return. 10% of 100K is $10,000. So let's say you have a good year in stocks and you hit $10,000. Let's take 100K. Be 10,000K, sorry. $10,000. So take $10,000 and divide that by 12 for your monthly. If you hit a 10% return on 100K, you're eating $833 a month tax-free. So that money adds up really quickly. And like I said, for most people, it's going to take you a while to max out your contribution room, including myself. I might hit it this year, I might not. So might as well do it. And while you're building up that tax-free savings account, you can actually earn some money tax-free. So I hope you guys like this video. I know I rambled a little bit on the end here, but I really wanted to show you guys the power of a tax-free savings account and why I think it's so important. So let me know if you guys have any comments in the comment section of this video. Let me know if you have a tax-free savings account, how much money you're putting in. And if you guys want more videos like this, more investing and financial videos, be sure to subscribe to the channel, sorry. And if you like the video, I would appreciate a thumbs up. It really helps the channel out. So that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you guys later.